Guys, we got a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Scott, are you going Justin Fields, the 107 and a 25 first? Let's call it mid, or Patrick Mahomes in the 210? Go ahead, man.
Wow. So somebody is allowing me to get off of a volatile asset with Fields, a 25 first, which I assume is random, and the 107, which may or may not be in that second tier. We'll see. But I'm allowed to get Patrick Mahomes for that. And you're going to throw me the 210, which we were talking about that earlier today. There's so many receivers in this class. And there's a new tool on Dynasty Daddy. I'm not giving them a shameless plug, but I did mention it. They do have a tool where they talk about the most frequent players traded.
Right.
And you can pull from that list. It's just all receivers. That's what everybody wants. And this is a perfect class to draft yourself. What, Shane? A receiver, a young one that's
Lots
under 25. There's going to be plenty of them. You're going to be able to get one with the 210. It's probably the wide receiver 14, but it's still a free asset. So give me Mahomes. It's really not that close, honestly. I mean, it's 4 months ago, you would have laughed at somebody paying this and getting the Justin Fields side. Now, maybe this is the time to do a deal like this if Fields has this weight.
All right, what
do you think, Shane? Can Fields get you up to Mahomes?
First of all, when you get a chance, can you just send me a screenshot of where that is on the John? Because I wanted to actually do an article about liquidity and stuff because I'm a loser. But that said, I have to agree with Scott. I promise I won't agree with him a lot tonight. I'm going to try to get into an argument with him. But for this specific one, everything he just said, I got to agree with.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Thanks for letting us know instead of just repeating it, right? So let's go to a hammer. We are at 8:37. Apologies for being a couple minutes late. We're still going to knock out 3 dozen trades minimum. All right, let's go ahead. So we got J. Lau. Thank you very much for your hammer. It's a 12-team start 11, half PPR. He said he's set at QBs with Burrow, Stroud, and Kyler. Indeed he is. Was offered the 108 in Kyren for Kyler. Fair value. I was trying to get Puka in the 108 for Kyler and the 110, but not sure it'll work. What do you think? 12-team start 11, half PPR, Scott.
Well, see, this is one of those examples where you need to be willing to trade what you don't want to move. I'd go right back with Stroud and say, can I get Puka in the 108 for Stroud, or try Burrow first, and then because Burrow's probably ahead of Kyler, and then Stroud's ahead of Burrow. But I would go back and be willing to give one of the QBs that he wants more if I get what I want. So if you're down with that, that's how you get the better deal versus settling here, which I think you are settling for 108 and Kyren. It feels like you're taking the first deal that comes to you that's decent for a QB. Are you in a hurry to move any of these guys, Shane? Any of these 3 QBs? Are you rushing to get rid of one of them off your team in March? No, I'm willing to wait.
No. Yeah, you're going to have to overpay to get them right now. Okay, thank you. What's up,
I would say I'd be in a rush to sell CJ Stroud if his street value was what his KTC value said it is, but it ain't.
Well, there you go. All right, let's go on to 2 hammers from Brenner. He even said how to pronounce his name in the Buy Me a Coffee. But thank you for the 2 hammers. Shane, do you see any tier ups and downs on this? We'll start with you. 12-team Superflex PPR start 10, Stroud, Lamar, Baker. Running backs, Gibbs, Kamara, Najee, Moss, Foreman. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Puka, Adams, Flowers, Slayton, Shaheed, Zay Jones. And then at tight end, we got Hawkinson and Njoku. And then he has the 112. Last part is benches are deep. The league is decently active from a trading perspective. Thanks so much. So initial question, see any tier ups and downs? 12-team start 10?
Tier downs, we're going to keep doing this, right? If I have league mates that are willing to pay me as Stroud as the QB2, QB3 in fantasy, and I understand Anthony Andrew that he broke all the rookie passing records, that's great. That's really hard to succeed as a QB1 just doing that without any rushing ability or rushing yards and touchdowns to buoy that scoring. I don't know if I use that word or whatever. So Stroud's a guy I'm looking to tier off of if I can. I'd be honest with you. I'm fine with trading Stroud straight up for a legit wide receiver. Well, not straight up. It would be JJ and Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
It's a short list.
Or CD, that list. your wide receivers, Flowers and something, charges will not be filed against him. So, wheels back up on Flowers. I don't know why you meant Slayton, Shaheed, Zay Jones. Like, you could add all three of those together and ask for a third just to consolidate, but probably not. Hawk, obviously, I'm trying to sell, but he's got a broken leg. I know it's not broken. He's got a broken ACL, PCL, MCL, whatever. So the sale is not going to go well for him.
Scott, what do you think here? You've got a little smile on your face. What's up? Shane's doctorness.
It just reminds me. Have you guys ever seen that video where the guy falls down at the tennis match, and the narrative is just he broke everything. He broke like 15 things, like the DVD, the AM, FM. He broke everything in his leg. Just shredded it. But anyway, I think there's probably limited pieces you can actually tear up here with. I mean, you already have two of the top 7-8 receivers. I mean, you already mentioned Hawk as just a liquidation piece. This is more of a liquidation team, and then just trying to sit back, maybe take some shots in the draft. But yeah, I mean, you got probably, other than Gibbs, I mean, you don't really have a running back that's worth anything more to the league than they are to your roster. You have decent roster construction, got some empty receiver spots you can dump. Mm-hmm. But it's a good team, but I don't think there's a lot of tier ups. I think your quarterbacks I'm more in the tier down world, right? Can I sell Baker Mayfield when he signs? I don't need a QB3 with Stroud and Lamar. That can get rid of some pieces for some extra capital and use it later.
Sure. Sounds good. Adam, thank you very much for the hammer. It is a 12-team start 12, 6-point per passing touchdown, 2.0 tight end premium. I finished second place. All right, we'll get there this year. Purdy, Tua, CMC, Orb, also known as zero running back. DJ Moore, Higgins, Godwin, Kirk, Gabe Davis, Dobbs, and then at tight end, Kittle and Njoku. Scotty got offered, give Hurts, get the 104 and 110. He said he finished second. I'm fine with moving Hurts, but I feel I need more. What would you ask for? His best wide receivers are London, Olave, JSN. What do you think here? It's a deep format. 12-team start 12, 2.0.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any other QBs he can pivot to and sell. It's probably this team wants Hurts. They're willing to pay. You know what? I'd at least consider it with the state of his roster. He's got a very middling roster. He's already got some pieces that he's probably not wanting to move unless he's rebuilding. So like CMC, the tight ends, I mean, Godwin, Kirk, those are already lowest common denominator receivers. I mean, DJ Moore is as well. Like once you have them, they're almost worth more to you to have them than you can sell them for. 2 PPR, you got the 2 tight ends. I mean, I'm okay with doing this deal. It feels a little light, but you're going to just have to take some risk here. What can you do with those picks? It's probably Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors. I mean, are they worth more than Jalen Hurts? No, but it is a start 12. What else can I do with that rookie pick? Can I maybe justify getting another piece thrown in? Can I get another second? Is there
I need
203 or 203, something that makes me feel like I can go make a move with that 110 and get something different, get another starter, whatever. But I don't hate it because I don't think, what else can he even shop, Shane? Like really on his roster, what else can he shop to get any sort of premium value? It feels like almost all his pieces.
DJ Moore could be selling.
But even DJ Moore,
I get it.
What is he getting you? A mid-first at most? You know what I mean? Like what else can you sell? McCaffrey? I mean, McCaffrey's his anchor. He's got no running backs.
That's literally it.
He finished second. Nice work. Yeah, I mean, I'm needing another piece, even if it's a third, second swap, just to make it feel.
How about a first, second swap? You get a first, you give back a second next year.
All day. Love it. Yep. That's what I would counter with. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. So Shane, let's go to you on this one, sir. We have, these look like a couple that we could hit together. All right. Kobe, thanks for the super chat, man. Super chat. Duh. Thank you for the hammer. Let's go. 12-team Superflex PPR, 1.5 tight end premium start 10. Mahomes is the only quarterback listed. Najee, Jalen Warren, A. Madison.
Alexander Madison.
Dude, you're killing
just
me
can't.
Right
just can't, bro. Ty Chandler, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Trey McBride. He's got the 102. 225 first, 226 first, 101 owner is taking Caleb.
Do you want me to switch it for you, Shane?
I would like you to go to the next part.
I love how you're reading it. Okay. Do you want me to take over? Or are you still going?
Inbox offer. Give CD. Get T-Law and AJ Brown. Ooh, is it worth giving up CD, or should I buy a tier 3 or lower QB and add Marv? You guys kick ass. So the 101 is going. He said, I already forgot. Can you go back to that?
101
the 101
is
owner is taking Caleb. So do you want to trade CD for T-Law and AJ Brown? Shark 10. You have no quarterbacks.
Yes.
I'm trying to give this the thinking and the thought process that it should.
Well, normally you don't have to read it. So
yes,
you can just
there's a whole process going on right here. Yeah, I'd make that deal. You need a quarterback.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, I know he didn't finish as strong as CD Lamb, but he's definitely if not in the same tier, right below him. So yeah, I'll make that deal.
Sounds good. So I'm going to go to this one from the crowd. I thought it was a good strategy question from Justin Coates. Said, you guys say I can do more with that side of the trade than the other. At what point do you stop valuing the liquidity / movability of a trade and try to win? It's always a good question. Scott, what do you think?
I mean, I'll give the crass answer, which is when I set my lineup for that week is really when I care. And all the other times outside of that, the way Dynasty is played right now, does that mean that I'm just not going to address things that I know that I might need earlier in the offseason or at the beginning of the season? No. But how many times have you thought your team is just set up to win? Then you get to like week 9 and it's totally different. The landscape's different. The injuries are different. The teams are different than what you thought. Your best teams are the ones where you went, I'm not sure about this one. Some of the worst teams are the ones where you thought were unbeatable. Yeah. So I think it's always, especially in the offseason, we will answer a lot of questions with, I can do more. Not even like right now, because obviously draft picks, if you have draft picks and young receivers and quarterbacks, you can do a ton with those between February and May. But there's still like 3 more months after that. What are you going to be able to do the most with from June to August?
Yeah.
It's probably the players people are going to want leading up to the season. It's not the guys that are already injured. You know what I mean? So it's always have to factor that in. What can I do most with during the season even? You know, like it always is an analysis. It's never, I don't care about that and all I care about is winning. Winning only happens during like 3 or 4 months of the year, though.
Yeah, and there's always more moves. It's always cascade trading. There's a plan. I guarantee all 3 of us, when we're thinking about making a trade, we're already thinking 3 trades ahead. You know, we're thinking a perfect world kind of situation, right? Oh, I'd love for this, but I mean, more trading. Always be trading.
I'll say this: I'm probably the one that's most apt to go, fuck it, I have too many picks. I have enough liquidity. Let's go get me some players. I am the one that's more apt to do that. But like Scott was noting, that does run the risk of you go halfway through the season, go, oh, I might not have been as ready for this as I thought I was. And now I need players again. So I might have to, need liquidity again. So I might have to split one of these dudes.
Okay, let's go. Scott, we'll start with you on this one or go with you on this one. 12-team Superflex PPR. And thank you, Keegan. No tight end premium start 11. Burrow, Fields at quarterback. Jefferson, London, Flowers, Jaden Reed at wide receiver. Running backs, Bijan, Charbonnet, and Cans. Anybody listening who doesn't know what cans is, trash cans, just shorten trash cans to save characters. At tight end, Komet and Musgrave. 101, 110, 112, 311, 25 first, and 325 thirds. Finished last in the league, wanting to know what direction to go this season, as there are only 2 real top teams in the league. What should I do with the late first there? Should I trade for a wide receiver? And just last quick thing you said, thank you, boys, for the content. By far the best in the business, and it's not close. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Scott, 12-team start 11, no tight end premium.
I just look at Keegan's name, and it's just Nageek backwards. I don't know if you guys caught that. It's pretty cool. So shout out to Keegan. Thank you for the 3 hammers. It's not a bad roster, man. Like, it's not one of those teams where you go, I finished last year. I need 2 off seasons to turn it around. Especially if you're betting on Fields, which maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But my immediate thought is I see a start 11, no tight end premium. I'm counting the number of threshold receivers that I feel confident with. Top 40 guys. You listed 4 on there. You have the 101. maybe this is one you try to create a little value with your 101. Can you move it back one spot? Do you know what the 102 is going to be targeting? Do they really want a quarterback? You could go either way. If you got stuck with the QB, maybe you could move Fields. Apparently, Fields now counts in deals where you can get guys like Mahomes. We saw one of those deals earlier. So I think you can be flexible, but if you just have to take Marvin Harrison at 101 because you're not sure what you can trade back to get, I'm okay with it. Trade back to get 103, take Malik Neighbors. I mean, you have a lot of options, but you need to add a couple receivers.
Yeah.
Create a little value, but I think it's a team that on paper at least has enough depth to try to get a playoff spot this year.
You think so? Do you think he has enough depth, though, to package the 110 and 112 to move up a little bit or buy one piece? The start 11, he still looks too thin for that. It's got to be a 2 for 2 or okay.
I'll just say this. I'll let Shane answer on his thoughts, but a start 11, I'm not interested in moving up. If I can move up to the 104 and get a quarterback, then I'll go Marvin a quarterback. But if I'm only moving up to the 107 and I'm taking one player there, even if it is the third, even as JJ McCarthy, let's say I really want to take a third QB. This class, I'm just hitting those picks if I'm not going to get proper value from 110, 112. Maybe I'll trade for a future first with one of them. But I think his team's okay. It's not super deep, and we don't know his roster construction. People will look at those running backs and go, oh, he can't win with that. But we don't know. Are you roster constructed right? That's another thing you got to look at when you don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Adams here. Shane, it is a 12-team start 12, 6-point per passing touchdown. Thank you for the hammer, Adam. 2.0 tight end premium. I finished second place. Doesn't it seem like, did I already do this one? Yes, I did. I was like, good Lord. Otherwise, this is like some Twilight Zone stuff here. All right, we're going to go with this one, Shane. 12-team Superflex, start 10, tiered PPR, 1.5 for tight ends. Kyler, Tua, and then any QB on a 53. Pacheco, Connor, Gibson, and then any RB. Wide receivers, JJ, CD, Tank, Deontay, Mike Williams, Pop Douglas makes another list. Otten and Jawan Johnson at tight end has the 103, 209, some thirds, and then has all of the 25 and 26 picks, it looks like. Okay, first rookie draft for the league, and half the league won't trade picks. If I have to make my picks, would you lean wide receiver or quarterback at 103? With less trading, I feel like I need to draft myself into competitiveness more so than if the league was more active. Thoughts? Thanks. Love what you guys do. I love that part, the draft myself into competitiveness. I think that's pretty sharp. But what do you think, man? If he's forced to make these picks, 103, what are you doing with this team?
So Tua is not particularly a needle mover, right? At 103, I'm probably going wide receiver, or excuse me, not even close. I'm probably going quarterback. Marv is going off the board somewhere in that one of those first two picks. So I'm either going to get Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Maybe it's a silly league and someone lets Caleb Williams fall to me, whichever. I'm going to take the quarterback and go for the upside. I mean, it's what I keep trying to remind myself, even if it doesn't always happen. I think quarterback has the most liquidity, or at least it's the most coveted asset in the Superflex, an elite quarterback, mind you, an elite quarterback, not just one of the ones you quarterback hoard. So I'd go quarterback here. The wide receiver, you'd be, I don't want to say overdrafting Malik Neighbors, but I think you'd be overdrafting Malik Neighbors here. I'm not comfortable with him at 103. Comfortable at 104. So probably not that much of a difference. But if there's a quarterback on the board, and especially if it's Jaden Daniels, I'm going to be smashing Daniels.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it's an inactive league. He's got the 103. So you're like, okay, well, what is the league like? And it's like, well, the league likes their own team and not trading. Right. So it's kind of a funky situation, but all right, good stuff.
Well, I have a quick question for you on that, Clay. If the league said you will not get one trade done this year, are you still considering a quarterback there at 103?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I am. It's still super flex, not a one QB. I say that now, man, but we'll see. I'd be open to everything. I would lean quarterback always. Okay, let's go to Julafu. Thank you very much for the 3 hammers. Appreciate it. We'll start with you, Scott, on this one. It's a 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR. Burrow, Watson, Jones at quarterback, Kendre Miller, Herbert, Zamir White at running back, along with Dobbins scans. London, Reed, Jamo, Mike Wilson, Judy, Washington, Musgrave, Dulcich, and Noah Gray. And then he has the 101, 104, 5, 6, 7, and then has a good chunk of the second round as well. 525 first. He's got some 26s too, of course. All right, so 1 million picks, right? And then that's his team. He says, make the rookie picks and let them marinate, or trade the picks away. Scott, go ahead.
That's a lot here. He added some players in there that probably weren't worth mentioning just because there weren't a lot of players to mention other than the picks. I'm not sure if that's Daniel Jones. It could be Daniel Jones or Aaron Jones. We're not sure. There's no separation between the QBs and the running backs, so I'm literally not sure. That may change a little bit if whether I'm willing to take a third quarterback or not. I'm probably willing to just draft one of them because you have picks in there. So I'm definitely taking another quarterback because you're a little suspect on your quarterbacks outside of Burrow. You know, you got Watson, who you probably can't move, and whether it's Daniel Jones or not, you know, he's worth more to me than probably I can trade him for. I mean, again, what's the next thing? Count the receivers. 1, 2, Jaden Reed, Drake London. And then there's a cutoff. I mean, he listed Parker Washington. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, that's what I do when I see a roster. I'm counting the number of receivers I know are plug and play, innings eaters, or difference makers, and he only had 2. So
what are you doing with these picks? This is smashing draft on a lot of it comes down to the league. He's got all the picks. So
here's the thing. This is the class when you need quarterbacks and receivers to draft them. I mean, how many questions have we answered? What would you trade the 105 for? Like, the list is fairly short, right? Same with the 106. It's a little longer. It's a little longer at 107. But I mean, how long is it if you do not think your league's going to pay you for him? And it sounds like, I'll just say this, and then I'll let Shane chime in on this one too. There's a reason he has all these picks. And I'm guessing it's because the league probably looks at it and goes, man, I don't even need those 25 first. I'm going to already trade him 5 of them. So clearly, I don't think the league's going to go, oh my God, I have to get these picks now. So the idea that I can just start building a monster with the 25 picks I currently carry, probably not. They're forcing you to make a lot of them. Don't you think, Shane?
Yes.
It would be fun to just do that, though, to just make a lot of the picks. We actually had in my oldest league, my home league, the guy did this. He sold everything, and man, did he hit on that entire class. Like, he got T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson. He dodged all the landmines and hit on everything. But so that was a lot of fun, Jack, league. But Shane, were you going to say something?
Oh, let me see those picks again.
Yeah.
Here we go. They're already trading
4, 5, 6, 7, and then a bunch.
No, I'd make the 101 and the 104. I'd definitely be trading the 105, 6, 7. I like the 202, 203, and 205. Actually, the 208. I'm gonna hold on to all the seconds until the draft comes. See if I can then get some people that are horny for the draft. Like, they didn't get any of the rookies, so now they want to get some. He's got so many firsts. Oh my God, 25 first. But if forced to make them, you don't have a choice. You're making them. I'm not going to sell them at a discount just because my league doesn't like them.
Well, and at least he got the 103, 4, 5, and 6 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right,
at least it's not 108 through 112. And now you're going, okay, I'm going to have to make these picks.
Yes.
And these are the high-end assets. You're going to be drafting Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, Brock Bowers. Life is good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good problems. First world problems there. Okay. Scott, let's go to Tony here. Thank you very much for the hammer. It is a 10-team start 11, 2 QB, 2 tight end, tiered PPR. Lamar, Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Kyler, and Bryce Young at quarterback. That's nice in the 2 QB. Brees, Kyren, Olave, JSN, Higgins, and then Hawkinson at tight end has the 103 and 8. Trade Lamar and Brees for CD and the 105. League doesn't really value QBs too high. There you go. How to move off of QB in a league where they aren't too valued, something like that. How do you move off of QB in a league where they aren't valued? Just keep hogging them? Thanks. Thank you, Tony.
Well, I think one way to move off of them is consider a deal like this. So we have a deal in front of us. I assume this is a deal that's already been discussed or mentioned, not just an idea. 2 QB, though. So I'm looking at his QB room, and I'm basically strangling the league right now with the QBs that I have. Now, the problem is I have Bryce Young. I probably can't get anything for him. Am I comfortable rolling in a 12 or a 10-teamer with those 4 and trading away one of them? If so, I think it's not that unfair of a deal. You're probably not having to get a QB at 105. If you can get Neighbors and CD for Brees and Lamar, I'm okay with it. Now he's running. The only question is his running backs now become just Kyren Williams, but he's got the 103 as well. So you're going to kind of be able to control, if you can make another move with that. I guess my only pushback would be, are you going to end up getting stuck with a QB at 103 or 105 here? Isn't that kind of redundant to then move Lamar in this deal? But it might be the best he's got. Are you doing it, Shane? If this is the only deal you are getting, and you just said your league does not value QB. So if this shows up in your inbox, you're taking it back like, oh my gosh, someone's actually willing to give me something that's 95% of value for Lamar. You doing it or still passing?
I mean, I don't like it because apparently I'm just throwing in Brees. Like, here you go. There's a random Brees haul.
I mean, let's say Brees and CD are equal. And I would say in a Brees and CD equal, close to it in a 10-teamer. I think the running back advantage is pretty significant. Lamar at 105. Yeah, you're losing that deal.
Yeah, big time.
You're losing that. But what if there's no other deal to be had?
Yeah, because it gets you. That's the problem, though. Yeah, it does get you out of one of your quarterbacks. You're able to liquidate one, but you're having to give Brees along in the trade with it. Like, yeah, you're getting 2 nice pieces too. I don't know. I don't like where it is right now.
Given that it's 2 tight end and he has the 103, would you go non-QB and then Brock Bowers in 2 tight end? Would you do that?
If
that gets him into that range most likely, and he can avoid having to draft a QB.
And he's got a hurt tight end right now, so
we're going Brock at 103.
No, you're going Neighbors at 103, Brock at 105.
JJ McCarthy at 108.
Because isn't it redundant to trade Brees for CD and then Lamar for Jaden Daniels? Isn't that kind of pointless?
Absolutely. Yeah. Got it. Okay, so here's let's go to one from the crowd here. This is from Scott Landry. How are you, sir? This is from 1:53 p.m. earlier today. We already have 300 eyeballs in here. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Part 1 from Scott is a 12-team Superflex start 8. PPR, non-tight end premium, Anthony Richardson, Cousins, Chubb, Cans, Puka, Higgins, Flowers, Dell, London, Pickens, and then McBride and Pitts at tight end. Has the 102, 3, 4, the 111, then he has a 202, 204, and 225 first. Oh, he says 325 first. I've been looking for hammers, but no one's interested in tearing down from any top 8 player, regardless of position, no matter the offer. What do I do when I'm asset rich, but unable to buy? I love that. Okay, so here's part 1, Shane. 12-team Superflex start 8. Go ahead.
So Scott's talked about this before, right? So people aren't willing to buy, but is it because what you're willing to sell isn't very attractive? Like, are you out in the world trying to go, hey, who wants Nick Chubb and Kirk Cousins? Are you going, who wants George Pickens? Although I'm coming around on George Pickens. That could be it. Now, if that's not the case and people are just like, I don't care. I'm not paying up for A-Rich. I'm not paying up for these picks. Then you have to make them. Like, you literally do not have a choice. Like, you flat out do not have a choice if the league will not, what's the word I'm looking for? Coalesce. That's not right. If the league will not acquiesce to your demands, you're going to have to make the picks. But I will say this, look and try to sell the things that you don't want to sell, because that's probably what the league's looking for. Like, what do you have to do to move up? Puka is already a very elite tier, but can you do something with Puka to tier up? Because that's a significant piece.
I mean, guess what are elite assets? Picks 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too and go, okay, I want to just get out of all those picks for players that I know are awesome. And I'll just say this because this reminds me, in a start 8, you've already lost by your 2 other firsts being 111, 112, and 201. You need to do what you can to try to re-roll, bet against the shitty teams in your league, try to turn those into future picks where next year your 110 is the 104. You're not going to be able to throw 8 pieces at somebody and go, oh, I traded the 108, 110, 112, 203, got Jamar Chase. Like, that deal's not coming to you. Try it, but it's not coming to you. So the other creative way to re-roll is go, all right, mister, you've never made the playoffs in 5 years of this league. Do you want to give me your next year's first? And I'll give you this nice 110 in this 201. You can have both. In this start 8, you can have both. All you got to give me is next year's first, and then you just bank that manager takes 2 random picks, and then it's a start 8. What did he really hit on if he hit on a couple decent players there? That's how you consolidate without making it obvious, because just getting a 4 for 1, no one's going to do that. There's a reason people will not tier down from elite players.
Good call. So Ethan22 has an inbox offer from earlier. It's a 12-team Superflex PPR, 1.75 for tight ends, start 10. Trade JJ and Romeo Dobbs, also a 25-second for the 102. And he has Marvin Harrison Jr. in quotations, plus Ayuk. Okay, let me reread this. He's trading Jefferson Dobbs, a 25-second for the 102 and Ayuk. Other pieces, T-Law, Love, Young, AJ Brown, Terry, Kincaid, 108. What do you think here, Shane?
I think no. Just breaking this down in my head, you win the Dobbs and 25-second for Ayuk side. Good for you. And you maybe someday could win the JJ over, or the Marvin Harrison over JJ side. But I know what JJ is. JJ is the wide receiver 1. Like, there's just, that's what he is. You're hoping Marvin Harrison is going to be the wide receiver 1 someday. Like, JJ actually has some insulation to his name. Remember when you were trying to buy him cheap last year when he kept getting injured, and everybody was like, nope, not going to happen. I'm not trading away JJ. Like, it'd have to be the 102 and the 103. And then I'd be like, maybe.
I'm hammering this deal, aren't you, Clay? Give me the Marv. I bet you I can go with the Marv side and go get Jamar Chase with Marv, and I don't have to even add as much. And now I've gotten two starters for 1.
You're getting Jamar Chase and Ayuk for Justin Jefferson and Dobbs. I don't think that's as good as you think it is, because JJ is significantly in a tier by himself, significantly above every other wide receiver.
So you're taking Justin Jefferson, Romeo Dobbs in a second for Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk?
Maybe.
Book it. if you somehow have those pieces in a league, fire it off in the background there.
Clay, are you taking that deal? Are you taking you could get Ayuk for Dobbs in a second? You'll just gamble with Marv, the asset, and just roll?
Yeah, and I also still have the 102, not Marv, in that deal.
Yeah, right. You could do whatever you want at that point. It could be a quarterback. So you could have traded JJ for Drake May, who turns into Daniel Jones. And then you hate life and you quit fantasy football and you cry in a corner every day because you hate everything that's ever happened since that moment in time. But anyway,
you speak from experience on many levels, I'm sure. Okay, Canson Rodriguez, thank you for the hammer. Scott, his startup's complete. 12-team start 10 Superflex, PPR for running backs, wide receivers. Okay, it's tiered PPR. QBs Lamar, Goff, and backups. Running backs Henry, Cans. Wide receivers Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, Pickens, Sutton. And he says literally only those 4.
And then first, I hope.
I know that's what I was hoping when I made these banners. Same thing. Fergie at tight ends. He has the 105, 107, 9, 10, and 206. I'd like to compete this season, so clearly I'll need to add 1 or 2 wide receivers plus some quote unquote inning eating running backs. Nice. I'm looking for advice on what to do with my picks. I was thinking the exact same thing, Scott, when I was setting up. I was like, there better be a bunch of picks on the next screen here. Did he get enough? Does he have enough picks for what he got out of this draft?
Well, I will say this. I bet you if you run the war on one of these leagues, you want to have 1.5 times the number of top 40 receivers as you can even start. In 1.5 PPR, the receiver, you're going to want to start guys like Ayuk, you want Ayuk, Pickens, you want tons of guys like that. I don't even care about running back. What I care about is every week I need 5 receivers that I can probably project to be top 24 in that week, which means I need probably 8 of them on my team because there's going to be one injured, one has a shitty quarterback, one's playing in a blizzard. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have options. That's what's going to probably drive whether I win or lose. His quarterbacks are okay. I mean, I can get by with Goff, Lamar, and backups. So it comes down to the picks. I assume he took these picks in the startup, hopefully with the thought that I'm going to be able to hammer a bunch of rookie receivers and hope I hit some of those. I just don't know how he gets the running backs unless he's willing to really lean into the any running back on the 53. Like, you're going to have to grind at running back because there's not going to be probably any answers. And I really, in this format, I don't want to trade those picks for running backs. I'll play running back for a year and suck before I would start trading those picks for running back because you do need more receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to triage it. Wide receivers first. Worry about the running back second. Good stuff there. We need to do a startup. Listener League startup coming this week.
Best ball.
Look at Shane. It's best ball dynasty, baby.
Better be best ball. You guys keep forcing me into these friggin' lineup leagues.
I know you promised you do another one as long as it's best ball. We'll get you in another lineup league somehow. Okay. Why is this up here? Did I accidentally leave it up or something? Shane, you on mute but yelling at me? All right, let's go.
Down on mute. Because we answered his question, but apparently we asked him a question, so he followed up with an answer.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I didn't read that. I thought I accidentally put something up.
Nope.
Okay, let's go to T-Law Shampoo here. Thank you very much for the hammer. 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR 1.5 for tight ends. Kyler, Richardson, Fields, JJ, Amon-Ra, Chase, DJ Moore, Debo, Ramondre and Cans at running back, Kittle at tight end, the 102, a 25, and 26 first. Not mine. Send Fields, DJ Moore, a 26 first for Garrett Wilson and HN. What do you think, Shane?
I feel like I should be able to get more, but probably not, right? Because one of those, the pick is 2026. Fields, as we could see if you're looking at the conversation going on in our chat to the right of us. Well, it's to the right of me. The chat. Fields is what we call it divisive, and DJ Moore is a wide receiver 2 type. Only thing is, I know that Garrett Wilson's really special. Like, again, I like Garrett Wilson a lot. I'm just saying, dude, I know he had Zach Wilson at quarterback last year. We make all whatever excuses we want. Dude scored 12.5 fantasy points last year. If he does something like that, if he's a wide receiver 2 again in 2024, then that's what he is for life. And I just gave up this package for a wide receiver 2, and I like a chain. What can I do just to get a chain off of him? How about that? Can I get a chain and something back for Fields?
Shane, I have 7 of the top 15 assets in Dynasty. I'm not overpaying for jack shit.
No.
I'm not. I control this league based on what he posted in here. I'm sitting on Kyler, A-Rich, and Fields, and the 102, and I have, 3 of the top 4 receivers in Dynasty, along with a bunch of other pieces. I'm not overpaying for anything in February. I don't care if it helps my roster construction. No interest. 0.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff there. All right, let's go to a quick inbox offer here from DAZN. Thank you for the hammer. Scott, 12-team start 11 Superflex PPR 1.5 for tight ends. Receive Debo, Ferguson, send Rashee Rice. Goff and Rodgers at quarterback, Gibbs, Saquon, and Chubb at running back, JJ, Puka, and Rice, and then Chiggy at tight end. He has a 24-112. What do you think?
Man, I could see the logic of them replacing Rashee Rice with Debo. They're placeholders. I'd much rather have Rice, but they kind of occupy a similar spot on my team. Nah, I'm going to pass. Even though I don't have really a good tight end, it's basically a Jake Ferguson tax, and that's all I'm getting. I feel like I can do something different with Rashee Rice. I could add Rashee Rice to Chiga Okonkwo and get a better receiver, or get a another pick, or you know what I mean? That this just feels like it's a nice offer, but I'll just decline it. No incentive to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jake Ferguson's a star, and I'll regret it. Shane, am I going to regret that? Jake Ferguson burning me?
No. I mean, I don't mean to. I'm sorry. I don't mean to belittle Jake Ferguson, but dude's probably 14 points a game at a ceiling.
Yeah, you're just a touch blurry and behind, but we'll let you catch up. Get him next time.
You just wonder what Shane is doing to all of a sudden go laggy and get blurry.
Yeah, he's aggressively streaming other stuff. Okay. Let's go to this right here. Okay, strategy question as the overlay is all jacked up. We'll make it work. Look, I'll sit over in Shane's spot.
I'll fix it.
I'll
he's
tear
back.
up.
He's back. He's coming back.
So Ethan 22 has a strategy question. Was able to hoard picks in a league that doesn't value them, 4 of the top 5, and thus can't move them for much. In this case, would you be okay making all the picks or sell at a loss? Thanks for the question, man. What do you think? Who wants to go first? I forget who's up.
I mean, Shane can take it. They're 4 top 5 picks, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So again, your league doesn't value them. Make the fucking picks. You can timestamp. There's a couple fucks in this. No, I mean, look, I understand the want and the need to feel to make a move, but if you can't make a move, one that's a good move, don't just make a bad move so you can say I made a trade. Like you have 4 of the first 5 picks. Make the picks then. If the league isn't going to trade with you, screw it. I'm just going to take the 4 of the 5 best players in this draft, and we'll see how things turn out for me.
Sounds good. Okay, so we have a 5 hammer donation from Red K. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You guys are awesome, he says. 12-team Superflex, start 11, PPR, 5-point per passing touchdown. Allen, Kyler, I was waiting for Shane's face. Allen, Kyler, Stevenson, Hubbard, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Diggs, JSN at wide receiver, Hawkinson, Freiermuth, Dotson, Gabe Davis. That has the 103, a late second, a third, and 325 first. What should I do with the 103? What actual moves should I look to make? Thanks, guys. You rock. Appreciate the hammer. Scott, go ahead.
So immediately he's got Allen and Kyler, so no pressure to get a quarterback. Got a couple nice receivers, got Diggs, got JSN. If I just do my count, it's probably a couple receivers short, but he's got 4. And then it's also 5-point passing touchdown. I guess there's no pride in premium, I assume, because he didn't mention it. So we'll just assume there's not.
Yep.
I mean, you got some liquidation pieces that you can move. Like guys like Hawkinson, I'd be looking to get rid of. Jahan Dotson, what can I get, please? Anything. Gabe Davis, same thing. I'm probably leaning towards trading back 1 spot to 104 if I can, but if worse comes to worse, I'm fine taking a receiver at 103. 25 first. This is one of those teams where you go into the season like not expecting to win because you're probably a little short on receivers. You're probably a little short on overall assets, but I'll kick it to Shane real quick since we got 5 hammers here. I'm guessing, Shane, you're trying to move at least one of those 25 first to get another starter before we head into the season.
This team,
I would actually, I would support that. Yes, I would support that. Try to move a couple of those other pieces to get maybe 2 more starters, either a running back or a receiver, and then just take your chances with the other 2 picks.
And if I could somehow move that 103 and get, I don't know, a couple picks before the 107 or like the 106 and the 109, something like that, I'd be okay with that. Even like the 106, 110, but that's really as far back as I'd like to go so that we can add a couple starters. I'm exploring also because it's me. Just saying, testing the market. Hey, what's the best offer I can get for Josh Allen? Maybe there's someone in your league that's just silly and be like, here's Jalen Hurts in a first. And you're like, well, thank you very much. Now go jump through a table in Buffalo. So I'd still test the market on him, not Kyler, obviously, because no one's going to pay up for him. But yeah, no, use one of those first to move into this draft and see if you can split that 103 into a couple picks before the 110.
Yeah, this team can win. This team can win. I don't know. I'm not worried about quarterback. I'm sorry, tight ends. Looking at Hawkinson and Freiermuth, you're just grinding with Freiermuth and bodies until Hawk is back. Is that correct? In a non-tight end premium?
Aren't you scared to move back from 103 to 106 there, Clay?
I don't want to move that. I never want to move that far back. I would want to do 4 or 5.
I mean, I think you go to 4 and just basically say, what would you add? And anything you can get added is a bonus because it's a start 11. Can you swap a third for a second? You know what I mean? Something like that I'd be willing to consider. But it's one of those teams where if you make a couple good moves, you're in at least the striking distance position where I love to be with teams where it's like, if I don't win, I'm okay. But if I start to win, I have pieces I can move. I have 325 first sitting over here that I can move if I need. That's the best place to be.
Got options. Thank you for those 5 hammers. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Okay, let's go to another one, and then I'm going to go back to our current crowd ones. So what you're seeing here, these are hammers that I had in the hopper during the week or during the weekend and stuff. We've been getting them in, so I created a ton of banners for them. We've been getting them during this show. We're going to do our best to hit some from this show, and then we're going to also do a hammer stream. Scott and I are going to do a pop-up hammer stream as well to get tight with what we owe you in terms of answers for these. But it's been so cool, man. The donations with the buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5 have been awesome. So let's just try to find out a system that makes it work for everybody. Okay, let's see if I've hit this one yet. From Dunko. Thank you for the hammer. Shane, look alive, sir. 10-team Superflex PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Hurts, Cousins at quarterback, Zamir, Roshan, Kendre Miller, and Ty Chandler.
Just real quick. I don't want to mean to cut you off, but when you start your running back room with Zamir White, it just cans. Just cans. It's fine. That's the high point. That's the high point.
And in a 10-team start 9, like a lot of cans are included. Yes. The can level is much, much higher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need Liam to make like a can meter.
So like the can to non-can ratio is bad. Yeah. Like that's how we should start ranking teams: is can to non-can ratio.
They have a can score.
Yeah, can score.
A hammer score and a can score. Build it. Okay, so yeah, Hurts, Cousins, cans at running back, Downs, Mims, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis. I remember writing this and I was like, this could be bad. J and T Palmer, McBride, Ferguson, Komet, the 104, 108, and then has 3 seconds, a third, and 325 first. So that's all it is. 1 part chain, 10-team Superflex, start 9. That's his team. He's got a lot of cans. So what are you doing with it?
Throw it in the fucking can, honestly.
No, I mean, so here's the thing. You have absolutely no usable assets to move somehow. I mean, you have Jalen Hurts, which I love Jalen Hurts. And this is weird. I don't know that I've often ever said, hey, in a start 9, you might want to think about splitting an asset like Jalen Hurts. But based on the rest of this roster, dude, you want to look at how can I split Jalen Hurts? Like, how can I get at least multiple first for him? Like, can I get the 102 and a 25 first for him at this point? Can I get
McBride?
Trey McBride for first? Oh, he's gone.
Tight end premium. Yeah.
Everybody must go.
Everyone's gone. Like Kirk Cousins, I'll hold on to him until he can walk again. And someone will want to buy him at that point. But yeah, this is not a team that I am going to be consolidating anything because there's nothing to consolidate.
Facts. Sounds good. Hopefully that helped you out. We didn't like trash your team too much, but
no, I mean,
it's gonna be a funny one to listen to. No, whatever. Important. Sometimes you just need to like burn it all down. We always address getting elite assets, but sometimes you need to sell them off. Right. Start over.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, good stuff. Here's a quick one from Mighty Bouch. Superflex PPR start 9. Scott, the 108 or Nico these days? I also have the 112.
It's a fair price, but if I look at my team and I go, there's a chance I might need a tight end and Bowers could be within striking distance. There's a chance I could need a quarterback and McCarthy could be there. I'm okay giving up a receiver because worst case scenario, there's a receiver there for me to take. And do I prefer them to Nico? 60-40, I'd probably take Nico, but I think given the other factors. Now, if you show me a roster where you have 2 top 10 tight ends and 3 top 10 quarterbacks already, I'm okay moving it. You know what I mean? Because what I'm wanting is probably what I'm getting. So that would be the context. If you need a QB, I'm probably holding on to the pick.
Yeah. Not good stuff. Okay, so let's go to he said okay, I've got some interesting ones here. Let's see this from John. Okay, because he said we briefly answered a hammer on the last stream. Here's an inbox trade from John. It is a 12-team Superflex PPR, 1.5 for running backs, a 2.0 for tight ends. It's a 0.1 point per carry, so 0.1 for every rush attempt. Start 10. Give the 107 and 204. Get Olave. Have the 101, 5, 7, 9, 201, and then he has like 4 other seconds, 425 first. He says he pretty much only has Lamar, Watson, Achane, Warren, JJ, Kirk, and Njoku. Okay. So Shane, inbox trade. Here's the format: tiered PPR, very small PPC.
Yeah, I'm taking this.
You're giving 107 and 204, getting Olave.
Yes, I want Olave far over Roma Dunze or Troy Franklin, or who the hell's going to be there? Who else is going to be there, Scott? Name some other wide receivers. I don't give a shit.
Brian
It doesn't
Thomas
matter.
Jr.
Yeah,
Roman Wilson, Lad McConkey.
Exactly. Give me Chris Olave, and I know he had a down year last year, but he was wide receiver 19, so it's not like he was a trash can. So this is, if you could have gotten Chris Olave for this last year, you would have come all over yourself, just flat out. You would have had to change your pants and taken a nap after a cigarette. So yeah, give me Olave here.
It's like you've done that before, Shane.
Yeah. He was like, just think of my process.
He knows the flow of those events like the back of his hand, right?
Know this, Shane. Okay, yeah, and I mean, part of it too, I'll just say real quick, is I feel like I'm more likely to do it because I have the 101, 5, 7, 9, and 201. I've got a lot of picks around there, so I can do a little buying. Okay. You don't want me to timestamp that one, Shane?
Sure.
C. Yeah.
Oh, that should be a short.
That all over yourself.
That's what they like on TikTok.
Probably will be. Okay, let's go to J-N14. Bought us 4 hammers. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. The aforementioned shorts and stuff, that's where my money goes. In principle, how many startable players should contenders bench, accounting for injuries, buys, etc.? 10-team Superflex, start 12. You can start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 3 flexes. Half PPR, no tight end premium. Quarterback, Lamar and Kyler. Has the at my 104, then he has 106. Bry Rob, Zamir, and 12 cans. Marv/Neighbors at the 101 and 102, he says. London, Pittman, JSN, Dell, Zay Flowers, McLaurin, Kirk. And then at tight ends, Mark Andrews, Goddard, and Musgrave. So he says 9 startable wide receivers, but only 6 max lineup slots. Assume none of my RB cans are better flex than my worst wide receiver, which is Kirk, and I get no smash offers for my wide receivers. Am I better off holding the 3 wide receivers anyway? What do you think? What do you think, Scott?
In short, yes, I would challenge everybody, if you have access to the War Tool, go look at a 12-team versus a 10-team and just look at how they're slightly different. Even though it's 10 teams start 12 and 12 teams start 10, they're not exactly the same. Just because of the nature of how the positional distribution is at all 4 positions, right? So in this case, I actually value my insurance at like that wide receiver range where he's talking about he has overage. I value that a little higher because there's more of them to spread around the league, right? Meaning that there's only 9 other teams. So my advantage isn't as great. So I want to preserve some of my advantage by having that insurance. Now, when you're playing in a portfolio, if you have a ton of teams, you don't want to have so much insurance. You're kind of saying like, I'm willing to live dangerously right on the edges. But to answer his question, in a 10-teamer, even if it's start 14, there's going to be certain places where you go, I value the insurance higher because you have 2 stud QBs and a 10-teamer. If you lose one and now you have no QB, the replacement value is easier to find.
Yep.
But it's a bigger hit because you're probably relying on that advantage more because every team has a good QB room. You know what I mean? Like your QB advantage is not smashing 6 teams because of a scarcity issue. So I think you just have to look at the insurance a little differently. 10-teamers, if I already have bad QBs, I'll just keep buying more bad QBs to fill them in. But receivers, I'm not moving them. I think 6 spots and you have 9, I'm waiting it out, to answer his direct question.
Shane, do you have any thoughts on this one, man?
No, I mean, this is heavy in the roster construction, so I think this is right up Scott's wheelhouse, you know. Did he have any trade questions? Let me go back.
I mean, he's listed out some pieces, and then he also has all those picks to us. So I wonder if there's some jockeying that can be done around there. He's penciling in players already, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 team. So it's always going to limit the amount of moves you can make, not just because there's less teams, but like there's the scarcity just doesn't exist that it does in other leagues or whatever that's worth.
Okay. Good there. Any other thoughts? All set? Okay. Thank you very much for those hammers, Mr. JN-3 numbers. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. So Alex, nice comment from him. He said, the live roster review with Shane and Scott was amazing. Recommend to everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you putting that up there, man. If you're interested in more details, roster review at dynastytradesin5.com. Email that or go to dynastytradesin5.com/roster review. And we'll, you can check out the options or we'll give you the options. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. So let's move to this one right here. This is just a comment from Slashy. The biggest problem in Dynasty today is too many guys trying to be like you and be portfolio players, joining a ton of leagues, realizing they're in over their head, and then start playing. What do you think about this?
I saw this comment. I did. I think I might have put that one up there, or Shane did. I'm not sure, but it was an interesting comment. I don't disagree with it. I do think that there's a time and a place when you get over your head of how you handle it, right? We've seen people just mass quit leagues, and a lot of times it's an excuse. And I get it. Stuff in life happens, but somebody that says I'm quitting all my leagues because I hate MFL, and then they just abandon 15 leagues. You know what I mean? Something like that. Hit or miss on that. I'll just say this.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and try to play a portfolio strategy, I've seen a lot of people try it where they just get into too many leagues, but you can tell they don't actually, it's not hard time-wise to play a portfolio strategy if you actually follow it. Because very quickly you learn I'm going to be largely agnostic to players, right? And I'm going to set my teams up so I don't have to put in so much grinding work. And Shane might even be able to speak to this, to how much work he puts in when he has 28 leagues versus double that. Like, I don't put a ton of work into my leagues day to day because I'm usually trying to gain an edge with roster construction and kind of diversifying where I kind of pick different players in certain tiers. But I'm also somebody that will methodically play that as a portfolio. So I don't dump the 10 teams that I have that suck. And if I leave a league, I'll pay for 2 years down the road just so people will fill it. And I will say this, last comment on this question.
And you do. And you absolutely do. Go ahead.
Well, but here's the other thing. When you're a commish, because I also commish about a dozen leagues or so, right? The sleeper platform, as long as the commish is okay at making sure they at least collect some of the dues, I have not had a problem. I mean, I guess that's one of the advantages of being a content creator and having a huge Discord community is I've never had a problem filling a league. When you have a dispersal and it's a good commish that has some sort of boundaries and the league's going to last a couple years, sure, people leave, but like I'm okay if 3 or 4 people leave every other year or every year. You know what I mean? We can run a dispersal as long as the assets aren't so bad that nobody wants the team. I have not run into that. People are like, oh, cool, it's on Sleeper. There's some decent assets. I'll build it.
Yeah, they're willing to try, man. It's fun. It's a new challenge.
I will say this: we just filled a couple leagues where the teams were maybe the dispersal drafts were absolutely disgusting. Like,
So
like there might have been like 4
gross.
useful assets out of between the like 2 teams, but yeah, it's MFL. People like it better. They like the format better. Yeah, we had to cut the first year buy-in was for the dude or something like that. But MFL, or excuse me, sleeper is just it's easy. It's just easy. That's where everyone's going to play. It's all the cool kids are doing it.
All the cool kids are doing it. We should get like a sponsorship with Sleeper now. Don't they like have sponsorship stuff with podcasts?
Yeah, not us. We're
No.
not big enough. We're not big time enough. I know they had one with the fantasy footballers for a long, long time.
And
And
DLF currently, right? Like
DLF is a
Sleeper.
DLF. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not big enough. I don't know what to tell you.
Fair. So we did get 3 hammers from quote someone. So we're big enough to get 3 hammers from someone. 12 team, 1 QB, start 9, PPR, no tight end premium, adding super flex in the 25 season. Congrats. Bryce, Levis, Lance at quarterback. We have Algier, Roshan, Cans, London, Addison, QJ, Shahid, Wandale, Wicks. And then Fryermuth at tight end has the 101, 201, 202, 6, and 12. 4 thirds. He's got a couple 25 firsts and 325 seconds. He says, I'm smashing Marv here, right? Have 2 drafts to get a QB. Thoughts on trading the 101? Sick of tanking. Appreciate you all. Thanks for the hammers, someone. Shade, you go first.
No.
You were nodding your head aggressively.
No. I don't know how long you've been playing, but if you think a quarterback class like this comes around every year, you did not live through the Kenny Pickett debacle. You did not live through, I don't know. There's a bunch of classes where there's like one quarterback. Who was in the class with Kyler? It was like Kyler and then
Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, literally homeless people.
Drew
so
Lock.
Other homeless people. So you don't get these classes all the time. And my thinking always with Superflex is I'd rather get the quarterbacks earlier than later, and then have to try to buy them later when everyone realizes how valuable they are. So if you can trade the 101 for an elite quarterback plus, sure, do that. But otherwise, no, I'm absolutely smashing Caleb Williams unless I can trade the 101 down to like 102, 3, 4. If everyone in your league plays this way and you think you could get a quarterback at 104 or 105, I'd be willing to move down to there and get extra.
I think that's the key here is the rest of your league going to be this aggressive in moving up for the QBs? Because legit, this could be a league where it's like, okay, 112 Drake May is still there because, well, it's not super flex for a while. You know what I mean? It's like, I think there's actually opportunities to be greedy. Take Marv, assuming you can't nickel and dime your way and trade back. I agree. If you can do that, then I'm okay doing it. But take Marv, then try to move up. And it's like all of a sudden you leave this draft with 108 Drake May and 112 JJ McCarthy, and now you're feeling even better. You know what I mean? Because you did exactly what Shane said. You just didn't pay for it. I would try that because I'm guessing this league, a lot of people won't adjust quick enough and go, oh, I'm going to need a QB in 2026? So let me draft them now. I don't think people will do that. I think people are much more, they don't have that kind of patience. Most leagues don't.
Yep. Okay, appreciate those hammers. Let's go to 3 from RB Wasteland. Thank you very much. It's a 12-team Superflex, start 10, PPR, no tight end premium, Herbert, T-Law, Purdy at QB, Harris, Chandler, and Cans at running back. It's going to always get me. JSN, Pickens, QJ, Watson, and then Kincaid at tight end as the 101, 2, 4, 202, 3, 9, and then 225 first. Shane says he plans to pick Marv with the 101. Best course of action with the rest of my team. Try to go hammer hunting with my 102 and or 104, but the price hasn't been right. I feel like I shouldn't make all the picks. So what do you think here? 12-team Superflex, start 10, and then there's his team. Has a lot of picks.
Oh, man. I wish I could trade Herbert and just go... Yeah, I said Herbert. Just go Marv and then Caleb and see if I can get an elite wide receiver for Herbert. T-Law is not going to get that done for you. I don't want to be in a position where I'm stuck taking another quarterback because apparently the league doesn't value them highly, or maybe you just got lucky with the Purdy one, and that's why you have 3 pretty good ones. I mean, I'm making the 101 and the 102. I'm trading Herbert. I'm going to find someone to get Herbert from me, and they're going to pay up. Like, I'm not going to just trade him for, like, I don't know, give me a mid. I'm not trading him for Chris Olave. Damn, that hurts. But, I will trade him for CD Lamb. I will trade him for Amon-Ra. You know the names. Try to go hammer, want to choke. And then the other thing is, just try to combine the picks and see what you can get. And again, if people aren't willing to give you what you want, there's worse things to do than making the picks.
Or have you at least tried trading Justin Herbert instead of the 102? You never know if someone wants the name or the player instead of the pick, and then you just draft a QB with one of those picks. Try
I just said that.
I mean, we don't know if he's tried though, right?
Yeah.
We don't know if he's actually sent that out. You don't sit there and go, all right, does anybody want Justin Herbert? Like, send it out. Send it for what you want and just go, if I get it accepted, I now have a plan with taking a rookie QB. It feels like a lot of people, like, they already want Herbert, T-Law, and Purdy, and they want everyone else to give them what they want for the rookie picks. Sometimes you got to draft the rookie picks to fit the construction you want. Kind of got to, like, go at it the back way. You know what I mean? Got to get it in a different way. Just say it that way.
Shane, if you were listening, where his head would have gone.
I was expecting a reaction.
I know. It's like, it's going to be so.
You
obvious.
you teed him up too. You know
what did he say? What happened?
He lost it when I stole his Herbert thunder. Yeah, stole his Herbert thunder. He checked out.
Shane, we have two hammers from Jimmy that came in earlier. 10 team, start 10, super flex, PPR, 1.75 for tight ends. And thank you, Jimmy. Stroud, T-Law at quarterback, Charbonnet, Chase Brown, Hubbard, Cans, CD, Puka, Olave, Christian Watson at wide receiver. And then we've got Otten, Likely at tight end. 103, 4, 7, 8, 10. 203, 204, 7, 9, 10. Hoping Neighbors will be there at 103. And then he asks, do I have to overpay? No, he says, have to overpay for hammer wide receivers like JJ, Chase, ARSB. What is too much to pay for a hammer wide receiver? Or should I just play it slow and continue to build? So 10 teams start 10. Shane, tight end premium.
So I'm going to guess this team didn't do well last year. I'm just based on the players that I see. So he's got the 103. So he's got here you go. Can I trade the 107, 108, and 110 for one of those stud wide receivers? Anything in that range. I'll give you 3 first. Still 3 first. It might not be the 3 first that the dude wants, but sure. Can I trade the 103 and the 110? I don't want to do that. I'm going to go 107, 108, and 110. I'm going to send that off to them and see if I can get it done for wide receivers. But I don't think you're in a position where you should do the higher picks like the 103 and the 104 because your team just isn't good enough. I don't think you should be trading those off to get JJ for Chase unless you're trading just one singular pick, which you probably won't do.
Yep. Any thoughts, Shane? Or Scott, you good? Okay.
Just send out a bunch of offers. I was thinking the same thing. Just take all those picks you don't want. Yep. Go to the closet of shit you do not want. Just start trying to sell it all. Just send them all out.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds good. Okay, so let's go to, and I just sent you guys a private note. Take this offline. No, 2 hammers from Laporta Potty. This one's great. Here's a shallow one. Scott, if you want to hit this, 10 teams start 8, Superflex, PPR. Quarterbacks are A-Rich and Kyler. Running backs, Kyren, Warren, Algier, Madison, Pittman, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Waddle, and then Laporta at tight end. Also throws JSN in there. As a 101, 102, and then a third. He's got his 25 first, and then second. Second part is crazy to take Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors at 1 and 2 instead of Caleb as my third quarterback. Is a waiver add okay for my QB3? Would probably be on the level of Stafford. Love the show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
And Mr. Laporta Potty, you answered your own question. The fact that Matt Stafford is on waivers and it's a 10-team start 8, I'm just stacking skill players. I'm just taking Marvin and Neighbors, not even considering a QB here. unless they are just a true difference maker that you have to have, which I'm not really looking at anybody in this class as I have to use one of those picks. So, yep, I'm just taking Marvin Neighbors. Now I have what? Do you count JSN as a potential starter here? Probably below it. I mean, the other thing is your best receivers, Garrett Wilson, Michael Pittman, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle. Like, you got to take a couple shots at getting even higher than that. So, yeah, I'm going 2 receivers here. Easy.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Thank you for the hammers, Laporta Potty. Okay, let's put one from the crowd in here. This is from Jason. This was starred. Been hearing other content creators referring to players as hammers suddenly. Heard it here first. You guys are crushing the Dynasty community. Thank you. There's the hammer overlay comes up.
So let me say this. I started using the term about 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Just me. Then me and Scott became friends, started podcasting together. Then Clay, we were a nice little threesome. So those two have definite full rights and usage to the word hammers in my context. But yeah, no, there was 1,000% that there's people using it that don't even know where it came from, which makes you feel bad. You need to respect the game and throw me some respect once in a while. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, so let's see here. We got Dynasty Daddy says, "What's up, DTI 5 fam? What's up, Dynasty Daddy? Hello, Jeremy." Okay, JP Snipe says, "Scott, that's a sick hat." Let's go to another trade question here. So it looks like I have to add more to the hopper, but we've got Daniel Walker has a 10-team L start 8. What is that? 10-team lineup league?
Yes.
1 QB start 8? Okay. Mm-hmm. How many running backs are we trading the 102 for? Don't hate on the format. It was my intro league to Dynasty, converting from redraft. # I remember my first beer too. Oh yeah, no league shaming, man. Just join more leagues with formats you'll like more. Go ahead.
As we've said in the past, or at least I've said, because Scott and Clay would never talk like this. But look, as long as whatever you're doing is with consenting adults and they're aware of it, I don't care what you do, as long as everybody's consenting and you're not hurting anyone. If you want to stick your, you can't do that. Anyway, so what running backs would I trade the 102 for? Breece Hall, CMC, what's that guy's name? Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing someone, Scott?
I mean, in a 10-team start 8, you're shooting for either a hammer or not. So right. I mean, I'll tell you, if you get another season out of McCaffrey, then it's worth it. It's a pricey pick, but it's worth it if you get it. I mean, A-Chain's probably right on the fringe, but I'd say it's 3, max 5. A-Chain and McCaffrey would be the 2 where you say, all right, week to week could be worth it. But you're trading neighbors, man. You're trading a top 8 dynasty receiver, top 10. You're giving up an asset. If that was a 103, I'd be like, do anything you can to get anybody in that range. But 102. Sure.
Okay, let's go to another one here. It says, this is just a comment that was starred from, excuse me, Ma Texas. Everyone wants wide receivers, but NFL draft guys like Brugler, Jeremiah, etc. have 15 to 20 wide receivers in the top 100. Any chance wide receiver position gets too saturated in fantasy? So is it gonna course correct?
Here's a funny story. I don't know if Scott remembers this, but about 3 or 4 years ago, during a Dynasty and Chill episode, we tackled
2019.
2019, so longer than that.
August 2019. I remember
old.
It. Yep.
We are old. We talked about that. We thought that there was a tipping point. All these wide receivers coming into the league. What I've seen over the last couple of years is targets have kind of been funneled more to 2 receivers on a team as opposed to 4. Like those ancillary receivers are getting less and less targets. Is there a tipping point? Probably at some point, but I don't think we're there yet. Like I said, I've seen a lot. It looks like targets are just, I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but they're being funneled to less people on the offense.
Mm-hmm. This is a weird analogy, but we've all had those times where you just have to, pass a little gas, right? I had an all gas hat. You got to pass a little gas. There's always that tailwind, right? Where it smells a little bit after you do it. That's what the receiver landscape is. So what I mean by this is you have all these receivers coming in, right? So the names that you really like right now, guys like Jaden Reed, George Pickens, Zay Flowers, those guys do not have the floor they used to have. They are one bad season from going, man, they kind of got pushed down to now they're just guys. That's what happens when you have all these new receivers come in. You have these guys that are currently wide receiver. Give me a random number between 20 and 40, Shane. I'll just humor me.
28
through 40. 28. Let's see. Well, that's a bad example, but it's Deebo
32.
Samuel, right? No, Deebo Samuel. That's fine. Deebo Samuel's fine. 32. Devontae Adams. They're both a little older. But the point is they have very little they have to do before they fall out. If they're just average, if Deebo Samuel's wide receiver 23 and he gets hurt for 5 games, he falls down to a range where it's like he's an afterthought. He now immediately becomes an asset that is worth far more for you to have than you could ever trade. And it's not just guys like Deebo. It's the mid-tier wide receiver 2s and below that you still think are good. But T. Higgins, George Pickens, like those guys don't have the margin for error they had 5 years ago. They are 1 year away from it's like, man, they're probably a good buy, but I need them to bounce back because this class has 8 guys better than them already.
So we got 2 hammers from Cal's X right at the start of this stream. Thank you very much. Shane, we'll start with you. Temp check on Olave. I love the guy, but Carr and the 80 mil in cap isn't a good situation for his future. I typically always bet on talent over situation, but I'm hesitant to not move off for a Diggs and 25 first type of deal. If he regresses this year from wide receiver 16, is he just Pittman?
Well, first of all, I think Pittman was wide receiver 12 last year. He was up there, and Michael Pittman was an absolute target share monster. So let's not belittle Pittman, but I get your point. Your point is well taken. If you can get a 25 first and Stephon Diggs for Chris Olave, I am okay with moving off of him. Do I think his situation is going to improve? Yes, because there's a new, offensive coordinator there. I'm not particularly worried about the cap because this is where the Saints live, in cap hell. And they've been in cap hell literally since like Drew Brees' 5th season, which is roughly 47 years ago. And they still find a way to make it okay. So I'm not too worried about that. But if you were concerned, like, it didn't work out with Carr last year. But just keep in mind, like Chris Olave had the most unrealized air yards last year. If he only has, I don't know, half of those unrealized air yards, a third of them, we're looking at a wide receiver 10 season. And are we worried about him? So to me, I'm still buying, but I understand folks that want to move off of him. You'd
take that deal, though, wouldn't you? Almost all circumstances.
Diggs
in the 25 first for Olave. I mean, that's process all day, right? You're basically you're just gambling. You get a little more out of Diggs. And you get first.
Yeah.
So right now in my portfolio, I think I have 7 Olave shares. If I were to get that offer in all 7 leagues, I'd look at the leagues and I'd make that trade in probably 3 to 4 of them and hold on to a little Olave elsewhere.
Oh God, my earbuds are trying to steal. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Okay. My earbuds are starting to get greedy and steal my signal. Steven gave us 3 hammers during the stream here. He says, "Hi guys, love the show. Thank you very much. 12-team Superflex start 8. Have AR-15, T-Law, Lamar, Brees, Gibbs, Bijan. At wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, JSN, Andrews, and Njoku at tight end. The 102, 3, 5, 11, and has the 204. Says, won the ship this past season. Looking to repeat. What moves should I make, if any, and what do I do in the draft? Move back or move to next year or make the picks? Help." What do you think?
Bro, it's a start 8. You have 12 of the top 20 assets in Dynasty.
Hammers.
But you already have them. Like literally, if you just
I know it's
picks,
all hammers.
You pray that you have the right 8 in the lineup when it matters. That's pretty much all you can do. I mean, sure, can you go try to get one more or get greedy and go to every other elite player that you don't have and try to get them? Sure, but I mean, you got enough to win, right? What you're feeling by, trying to win is just variance that's going to happen. What you need to really do is be willing to give somebody in your league that has power one of those picks to expand this to like a start 10. And then you'll dominate even more. So yeah, try that.
Still dominate. So I know there's been a couple questions relating to like, when will I overpay? It's start 8. Like Scott said, I have 12 of the top 20 dynasty assets as it is. I might just go, hey, who wants the 103 and the 101? Can I have the 101 for the 103 and the 111? I'll start there. No? Can I have it for the 103 and the 105? I won't go crazy and add another first to it, but I might do that. But like Scott said, at this point, your biggest challenge or your biggest enemy is variance. That's the only thing that can defeat you. Is just your team is that elite that if you happen to have 4 guys that have a bad week in 1 week during the playoffs, then you're out.
Yeah. Let's do this one. Gabe gave us 2 hammers a little bit ago. 12-team Superflex, 0.5 tight end premium. So 1.5 for them. Start 9. He says, rate these assets 1 to 5. So Pittman, Fields, Rice, Flowers, 108. Who wants to go first?
Rank these assets 1 through 5. Pittman, Fields, Rice, Flowers, 108. Well, I think just the nature of it being start 9, you could probably argue Fields might be close to the top.
I would go Fields number 1. But go ahead.
Fields, Pittman, Rice, 108, and Flowers go either way on that. I'd probably say Fields and then Pittman, Rice would be the next 2, and then Flowers and 108.
I'd go Fields, Pittman, and then 108, and then Rice and Flowers would be a toss-up.
Interesting.
I don't know.
It just shows all the receivers here are probably interchangeable, including the rookie pick.
Exactly. It's February 20th. I'll take the 108 over Flowers and Rashee Rice right now.
Yeah,
Rashee Rice is close. He's got a market, but
that's what I was going to say. It's Field, Pittman, the fungible asset, then Rice, and then Flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, and then we had another one. I'll just read this off. And then I'll post a banner from Matthew. 12-team start 9, 1 QB. Trade the 107 and 109 for the 104. Or JSN for the 104. And he says, really want a Dunze. Thank you all. So I'm just going to make a quick banner here with what I just said. This was a
1 QB league?
Yeah, 12 teams, start 9, 1 QB, trade the 107 and 109 for the 104. So what do you think about that, first of all? Yes, all day. Just try to get as high up as you can, right? Or
I think I'd rather have the one
where you'd rather have 2.
Yeah, I'd rather do the JSN.
You'd rather have 2.
Yeah, I'd rather have the 107 and 109 over JSN. So I'd rather give the JSN side there.
Definitely give up JSN for the 104, was it? Yes. All day I would do that.
Or JSN for, so you'd take the 104 over JSN.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So I'm curious, Shane, where would JSN fall for you? You prefer Brian Thomas over JSN? Like that's basically what you're looking at with this pick, right?
I mean, here's the thing. If I stay true to my priors, I would take any first round wide receiver over JSN. Like if I'm staying true to the process, which I should do, right? I'm the guy that's like, if the wide receiver does this in his rookie year, he's dead. And 80% of the time it's correct. I'm going to miss on 20%. If I try to start guessing when that 20% is, I'm going to be wrong all the time because there's always a narrative and a story as to why I should like a wide receiver in year 2. So every time you get this offer, you should make this trade.
Scott, did you want to hit Dominic's? Did you say there was a comment you wanted to start or put up?
Yeah, I wanted to talk through this for we'll keep it at like 2 minutes or less on this topic, but it was just talking about
read this out.
Well, I mean, I didn't capture the whole conversation. It was just a whole conversation that was going on, but it's talking about, how far ahead do we allow people to basically pay and trade their picks? Because Sleeper allows you to go 3 years ahead. And his major thing was some people can't afford to pay ahead, depending on the buy-in. And then he also mentioned, how far do you go? Or do you allow people to, as soon as the 24 draft's over, 27 picks are in sleeper? So now you're talking like people have paid 4 years. Like literally they're paying this year and 4 years ahead after this, this past season. So, I mean, we don't have any rules against it, but I also don't think we haven't planned to have somebody trade a 27 pick yet. Like we're probably not collecting the 27 dues right when they pay it. So if you're actually trying to follow that in your league, you're accounting for 4 years worth of buy-ins. And does it unfairly benefit somebody, Clay? And I'll ask you on this too, because I think this applies to anybody that plays. $150 league. Does it benefit the guy that's got to spare $450 in his bank account to put into this league? Does 100%. It make it a little unfair? Do you limit it? Or because I'd also say if you're in a $150 league, well, but I'll just say if I'm in a $150 league and I can't pay 2 years ahead, I probably shouldn't be in a $150 league.
Yeah.
Like I should be prepared if the deal comes to me.
Right.
I should be able to throw 2 buy-ins in to make a good trade. But not everybody's like that. A lot of people, I have had people say I can't trade 26 picks because I don't want to pay the buy-in. So what do you guys think?
No, I mean, sure. I agree with you. If you can't afford to make that deal, you definitely probably should not. Probably you shouldn't be in that high stakes of the league. Like you just shouldn't. And there's nothing against you. Cool. We all have our own budgets. Personally, I don't want to see picks getting traded out beyond 2 years. So it's 2024, 2026 to me is the cutoff. If I'm a commissioner in a league, which I am in like 3 of our leagues, I would say 2026 is the cutoff. Partly because I don't want someone buying a championship with 2028 money. Yeah, I know I'm fuzzy.
yeah. Let's move on. So let's go to, it was at Pick 101 yearly was the guy's name, guy or girl, who gave us a hammer. It is a 10-team 1 QB. Thank you very much. Half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Burrow, Rodgers, Javonte, Walker's, Cans, wide receiver, Waddle, Addison, Dell, Flowers, Diojon, Jaden Reed, Judy Pickens, and some bins at tight end. If anybody in the crowd listening, by the way, knows who said Cans the first time or can bird dog that, I will give you something cool if you can find the first time. Okay. Offered Garrett Wilson 207 for me. Is this offered Garrett Wilson 207, Jaden Reed 108 and 110. What is this?
He's giving Jaden Reed the 108 and the 110. He's getting back Garrett Wilson
the 207.
The 207. And his team is already absolutely awful in a 10-team start 9. So you're basically giving up 2 extra firsts. You're consolidating here. You're up tiering on a team that has no business up tiering. I don't know, Shane. What do you think?
I mean, this is going to really get people mad at me. Are you up tiering? Because, I mean, just based off what Jaden Reed did in his rookie season, his cohorts are pretty good.
The only way you're up tiering is you're getting Garrett Wilson, who other people may see as a better asset in a shallow league. So, in theory, you're up tiering. But, yeah, I agree. On paper, are you really making your team better here?
That's and then giving up extra picks to do so. And I like Garrett Wilson, and trust me, I'm trying to get Garrett Wilson. I don't know that this would be the trade. No, I know for a fact this is not the way I would go about getting Garrett Wilson.
Yep. Okay. Let's just knock out 2 more guys, something like that. And I apologize that we are not going to hit all of the hammers that came in, and we'll check to see what was already in the hopper. He says, no, we have more coming. Yeah. So we are going to do pop-up hammer streams where we address unanswered donations, kind donations and whatnot. So as long as we have some in the hopper, Scott and I will just jump on and knock out a bunch, have some fun during the day.
And I'll be around Saturday if no one has a life and they want to jump on.
Or Shane could take some vacation and we could just crush it for a week. But you only have like 17 weeks of vacation available.
I only have 53 weeks of time. So I say that you never know what can happen.
53 weeks. Okay. Let's see. So it doesn't look like there's any more starred ones there. So I can just see if I can find a quick.
No.
Are there?
Scott, anyway, we can do it. So
put something on.
Yeah. Can you, Scott, hit up Malachi? Yeah. Scott's on Did It. You just, all three of us are on Did It. You just poke our face and then call. That's it. Or message and say, hey, can I set up a time?
I'm looking at your message, Malachi. I got you, buddy.
All right.
I got you.
80 Weeb. He's not sure how to super chat, but he'll send us $5. Cool. Go on the Buy Me a Coffee page.
I just posted this in the chat. This is the trade. This is the hammer that we got. It was 2 of them from Joshua Gutierrez. Thank you very much. It is a 12-team start 9 superflex half PPR, full PPR for tight ends. Anthony Richardson, Bijan, Gibbs, JT, Achan, Tyreek, Chase, Nico, Addison, and JSN at wide receivers. Kincaid at tight end. The 101 through 105 has the 107, 203, 206, no 25 picks, all 26s. What would you do with these picks? I wanted to expedite championship contention after a 2-year rebuild. What do you think?
I mean, he's got every good running back other than Breece Hall. So, I mean, too much in running back, but it is half PPR. I mean, Shane, don't you just draft a couple QBs, Marv, Neighbors, and whoever the hell you want at 105 and just try to win? Like, if you can't win with that team, then I think he's probably scared if he only has rookie QBs that he's not going to be able to dominate next year. But I don't know.
We've seen rookie quarterbacks produce that. I mean, not just,
and he can get all 3. So the odds he has one that produces is pretty high.
Now, if you want, like, if you can find someone in your league that'll give you Jalen Hurts for
101.
No.
That's what it takes.
I'm giving the 102 and the
107.
Yeah. If I can get Jalen Hurts for the 102 and 107, okay, I'll do that. Or anyone in that tier, really. So, him, Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes. That's it. That's the tier, folks. Not CJ Stroud. Come at me if you want to. And then I get to add Marvin Harrison to the team, too. So that's why I want to hold on to that 101, because it's not just Jalen Hurts. I'm still going to have Marvin Harrison to this team, and it's going to be just dangerous. Just dangerous next year, Scott.
Yep. Okay, let's hit the last one here. We'll do from, it was AVD Weeb. Got us 2 hammers. Thank you very much. It's a 12-team Superflex PPR start 10. Burrow, Love, and Kyler at quarterback. JSN, London, Jamo, Olave, Christian Watson, Achan, Charbonnet, Madison, Pitts, and Musgrave. Have the 101, 104, 106, 107, 108, no other 2024s. He says, looking to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. to hopefully pair with Kyler, fingers crossed. Then I'm curious what to do with the rest of the draft. What do you think?
So real quick, I was listening to, I believe it's Brugler's 2.0, his second mock draft, and he had Malik Neighbors in Arizona at 5 overall. That would be fun. Anywho, no other 20. I like how he has like 15 first-round draft picks and then says no other 24s. I don't even remember what the original question was.
Order of the Covenant here, Shane. He listed J-Mo ahead of Chris Olave. Is that a fact?
I know. That's
ridiculous. Like J-Mo's, the fact that he's even listed.
I want to see if Shane would catch that. I don't know if it was intentional or not.
Well, the thing is, he spelled J-Mo so crazy that I think that caught my eye more than anything. Can you go part 2 of this question?
Yeah, which I literally just deleted, but it wasn't literally, but it wasn't crazy. It was looking to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. to hopefully pair with Kyler, then curious what to do with the rest of the draft. And he says, assumption is picking up a 4th quarterback is too much. And I'm interested in securing Neighbors, Bowers.
Maybe you have to move up to the 103 to make sure you get Neighbors. I don't know, but I mean, receiver. Consider trading, consider building future picks because you have none. You don't need to make every pick here because you have no future picks. I'd be willing to move 108 for a future first if it's the right team that doesn't look like they're managed well. Like, this is a good team. There's already a team ready to win. I can work on running back, getting more bodies later. But just slow play every pick, dude. Like, you don't be tied to players. Slow play every pick. Shop every pick. Protect your future. This is one of those, unless you screw it up, you're not going to mess it up that bad.
It's a diffuse.
It is, yep.
Yeah, and then look, remember, you still have the 8 hours or 12 hours that the pick is actually on the clock as well. So just milk the whole thing.
Right. I just put in do hashtag hammer in the chat. Hashtag hammer. There's a bunch in there if you haven't already seen it. Shane Manila is doing it too. I'm just gonna ring off a couple really quick giveaways. Just send me an email saying you won, and we'll hook you up with a t-shirt or a hat. And it can be Process Players, the 5, hammer, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Your time is coming to a close. Okay, giveaway tool, share. All right, hashtag hammer has 24 entries. Can you make it look pretty, Scott? Oh, you did. Nicely done. Okay, so I'm going to hit the draw. See who gets the first one. Email clay@dynastytradesin5.com and just say you are a winner. Sandiford. We're gonna Sandiford. He's got plenty of merch. And
he's ineligible. Ineligible.
He is ineligible.
Employees of the company cannot win the merch.
Wait, does the baby have?
He's not an employee. He works with Dynasty Trades.
Yes, he works.
Not for Rain Man. REIGN Man. You get one.
Definitely.
And then I see. Quick, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to put in hashtag hammer if you haven't already. We've got 45 entries. I'm going to hit it 2 more times because I feel bad, man. I want to work out a system here with the hammers and stuff. I think we did fine, but Colts Nation 29, you also win something. And then the last drawing is Shane. No.
Keep seeing my name come up and get all
excited. Oh, he did win. Shane wins. Oh, that's gonna be a screenshot.
Yeah, how about this? So 2 out of the 3 names that came up were Dynasty Trades and 5 people. So we are definitely rigging this.
That's so funny. Yeah, and Dynasty Trades and 5 could still win this. Don't do it. Almost Kanja too. He would have had to have been a redraw. He's one of our peer-to-peer reviewers. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. That was fun. Everybody in here, 340 eyeballs still. We've been going for an hour and 36 minutes. We love you all. We appreciate it. The support is kick ass. Hopefully we answered your questions. What else we got? Just want to say bye. I'm done. I can't talk.
I was just going to say the all gas hats will be available on Monday on Destination Devi. So if you like these all gas hats, they'll be available on Monday where you'll be able to go in and get them. Maybe we'll be able to get 1 or 2 where we can give them away on a stream as well. So if you like these all gas hats, they'll be available destinationdevi.com on Monday.
I guess I'm going to go buy one.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought we were getting one. But no,
do not buy one. You will get one. Don't worry. Do not buy one.
Yeah, so we're coming up with a cool idea too. We have to talk more behind the scenes about it, but doing something fun, doing a big event. But no, thank you to everyone in the crowd. Check out patreon.com/allgas and consider joining our Discord. It's a kick-ass community. We're going to start up some more listener leagues here. Discord members are doing their own leagues and leaving us out of it. But yeah, so check that out. Roster review at dynastytradesin5.com. Email that. We'll tell you about the couple options we have, if it's peer-to-peer or live with Shane and Scott. So we'll give you pricing, process, all of that good stuff. And then I'll finally say Dynasty Nerds. Promo code TRADES5. It's a kick-ass tool. The integration with Sleeper is awesome. Not to mention a bunch of other stuff they have. Film room. I could go. Jared gave me a giant list of things that I could talk about that Dynasty Nerds has. I'm not going to hit it now, but let me tell you, you get a lot for your money with that. So promo code TRADESIN5. We appreciate y'all. 318 people. I'm going to end this stream. Have a good night.